the Murrumbidgee area called Connect Your Way. And yeah, I'm from Juntos Marketing and Monica's from Murrumbidgee PHN. We also wanted to acknowledge our co-authors, Joanne Pillai, who's in the room, and Linda Lyck from Juntos, and also Melissa Neal from Murrumbidgee PHN. And we wanted to acknowledge the Wurundjeri people on whose land Murrumbidgee is operated or works, and also the Gadigal people in the Eora Nation where we work, and the Ngunnawal people here in Canberra. So just a brief overview of Murrumbidgee for those who don't know. The area is located in southern New South Wales. It's predominantly regional, or it is regional, rural and remote. The population's just over 250,000 people and living across 508 communities, including two main towns, Wagga Wagga and Griffith. It's often referred to as the food bowl of Australia. For First Nations people, the riverways of the Murrumbidgee, the Lachlan and the Murray are culturally significant. And all of this adds up to a unique, distinctive and actually very beautiful local area that's highly recognisable for people who live there. So this is Bruce. In his words, if you bottle it up, you're in trouble. Bruce is a third-generation Murrumbidgee farmer from Coolamon in New South Wales. He lived through a crippling drought and he found the isolation overwhelming, and in his words, he hit a mental wall. He and a small, diverse group of local people played a really central role in the Connect Your Way campaign, sharing their experience with mental health challenges, and they really became the unique storytellers for the campaign. And we're so grateful to them. They're very courageous. Just in terms of the background and the context, 1 in 5 Australians, many of you probably know this, 1 in 5 Australians experience anxiety or depression each year. Poor mental health is a major public health issue, particularly so in rural and regional and remote areas. In the Murrumbidgee area, it's estimated that the prevalence of mentally diagnosed depression and anxiety is 10% higher than the rest when you compare it to the rest of the New South Wales population. Mental health challenges affect everyone, but they're often not talked about enough. People in crisis frequently don't know where to turn to, and there's issues of trust and stigma that also become barriers. So to address this, Murrumbidgee PHN commissioned Juntos to create a campaign aimed at raising awareness of mental health services and to address stigma and to encourage help-seeking behaviours. So we've got up here a bit of history as well. So this is what we're talking about today is a second campaign. But just to give you a bit of context, we started working together in 2017 when we were commissioned to undertake the first campaign, the one on the cartoon-looking one, aimed at reducing stigma and encouraging help-seeking behaviour. We called that Reach Out, and that ran for over 5 years. And we actually presented that at the Singapore International Social Marketing Conference for anyone who was there back in 2018. The initial brief was to develop a campaign that would appeal to the broader community as well as higher risk groups, based on the understanding that mental ill health and suicidality can happen to anyone. And it was the very first time that the PHN had done anything like this in terms of developing a communication campaign like this. It was developed in collaboration with 20 local not-for-profits and government organisations who were part of the Murrumbidgee Area Drug and Alcohol Alliance. And the call to action was directing people to a local triage number, which was called Access Line. Some of you may know that. The campaign used language and messaging that was derived from community insights from co-design consultations, and the campaign ran in key periods of risk, higher risk during the year. But in 2022, we identified that it was losing impact and needed to be updated. As you can imagine, there was a lot happened between 2017 and 2022. So in 2023, we worked together to develop the new campaign, which shows the real people in the Connect Your Way campaign. So we used insights from the previous campaign, and then we developed it with co-designed it with people like Bruce, who had lived experience of mental health challenges, so ensuring that was relevant. Although it looks very different, and we'll show you more, the core themes were consistent, focused on reducing stigma and encouraging help-seeking behaviour, the importance of the local look and feel to show the unique attributes of the Murrumbidgee area, making sure there was representation from diverse population groups, and empowering individuals to take control of their journey. And we also wanted to make sure we included the insights from the previous campaign as well. So we used a social marketing framework, which included strong grounding in research and insights, professional creative development, and incorporated clear evaluation. The strategy stage was really important in reviewing learnings and objectives and what had changed since the first campaign. The first round of consultations we really wanted to delve into understanding what had and hadn't worked in the first campaign and what would be the new challenges. And the second consultation was more around refining messaging. And the campaign aims were around reducing stigma, increasing help-seeking behaviour, as we've said, and providing tangible pathways to different choices. One of the key objectives was also around this choice. We had feedback from community partners that the previous campaign, with the call to action being access line, was somewhat restrictive, and that many people wanted to be empowered to find and access help in their own way. So for some people that was around, perhaps some people wanted to access things online, others telehealth and so on. This is just a summary of who we spoke to. So we had an advisory panel, we did a workshop with them, we did 18 IDIs, in-depth interviews, 4 focus groups, and we had ongoing consultation with the lived experience group and with a key focus on hard to reach groups. Not going forward because I'm pressing the wrong button. Some of the key insights were mental health challenges. Often people don't see them as something to fix. It was more that they wanted to help on their journey to recovery and to help manage their condition. People wanted to feel empowered, and they wanted more pathways, formats and sources of information. They wanted to see themselves in the campaign, people like them, so having a diverse range of participants in our campaign was important, and also had to be visibly local. We know about stigma, and also people wanted to see real people. So these are our campaign heroes. They had relatable stories and integrated, we made sure that we integrated a number of different segments in our planning. So we wanted to show you the TVC now.
My body effectively just went into survival mode. I was facing deportation because of an administrative error that wasn't my fault. It got to me where I wasn't sleeping very well, extremely stressed. I then reached out to a counsellor. All of a sudden, I didn't feel like I was alone anymore.
So the television commercial was just one piece of this campaign. Research told us that people wanted to be able to engage with various mediums to hear the message. We also heard through the focus groups that mental health support and information is quite fragmented and hard to find. Specifically, the consultation told us that people wanted to connect with services in a way that best meets their needs, and locating suitable services can often be really overwhelming for people. It was for this reason that we created this central and foundational component of the campaign, a dedicated web page. It also had the added benefit of being at the call to action for the campaign. The last campaign had the access line number as the call to action, which was just one place, whereas this one had the website that then helped them locate the information they wanted. And it had that added benefit of having the URL handle of Connect, which linked in with the campaign name. Instead of reinventing the wheel with this webpage, we collated a landing page with lots of different resources that already existed from national and both local services. We included funded service information from us, the MPHN. We had resources for health professionals and also the community to train in suicide prevention. And most importantly, we had stories from the people in our region about their lived experience of mental health to help inspire hope, encourage help seeking, and also reduce stigma. So the campaign, we had a few different ways of promoting it. Firstly, traditional media. So to promote the new page and all of the resources, our initial campaign aimed to build the broad community awareness and encourage people to take a look at this page. The initial campaign used a mix of traditional, out-of-home and digital advertising, and it ran for a period of 8 weeks over May and June in 2023. TV and print advertising targeted an older demographic, and the newspaper ads focused on reaching farmers and their families. We used the rural newspaper to achieve this, as it inserted into most of the region's newspapers. And we found that radio advertising was great for reaching tradies and as a wider demographic. With the out-of-home media, we used cinema, buses, shopping centres and public washroom advertising. Both cinema and washroom mediums help to engage a captive audience in a more discreet environment for them. With the selection of washrooms for the campaign, we looked to include pubs and the university that's in our region to capture young people and males. Finally, digital media. We used ads on Google, YouTube and social media, specifically Facebook and Instagram, and promoted the campaigns through our own digital channels. With our rural advertising in that newspaper, we also were able to include a selection of digital ads on the rural webpage as well. So this slide here just highlights the advertising results of the campaign. The percentages represent the amount of the budget that was spent on that medium. The captive audience mediums of public bathrooms, cinema and digital represents almost 50% of the budget, while the other mediums support high frequency and repetition of the message to help increase awareness. Overall, the campaign had the potential to impact people in excess of 6 million times. So, to evaluation. Since 2017, when we had our first campaign, we have been using some ongoing interval tracking to measure the key impacts of the campaign, and it was through this that we recognised awareness was really diminishing and we needed to take a fresh approach with a new campaign. So this slide here specifically shows the pre and post campaign evaluation, pre being March 2023 and then post in July 2023, measuring awareness of key services. The randomised sample of approximately 75 residents of the Murrumbidgee area across different age groups and genders was administered through an independent online survey and panel provider. The main call to action of the campaign was the Connect Your Way landing page, which was new, and so there's no pre-campaign measure for that because it didn't exist. And then the secondary call to action was Access Line. And just for comparison, we've included the increase in awareness for Lifeline, for 000 and Lifeline there, and also the national and other drug hotline and Open Arms increased by 25% as well. We believe some of the reasons the campaign has been successful are actually some of the lessons learned that you might be able to apply in your own work, and maybe some of these touch a little bit on what Janelle was saying just previously. Community-driven approaches are critical, using insights from people with lived experience to ensure relevance and impact. The value of empowering people with a range of accessible pathways to mental health support is key, as no single solution works for everyone. And localising messages and involving diverse populations in the storytelling process fosters authenticity and increases community engagement. In addition to our traditional advertising campaign, we also developed story videos for each of the campaign storytellers. We've sort of touched on this, but maybe it's not been so clear. But each of these 5 storytellers have their own personal stories of lived mental health experience. We heard in the consultation that people wanted to learn from other people's experience, so we wanted to make sure that their fullest stories was captured as part of the campaign. And these videos, along with all the campaign collateral, has helped the longevity beyond the designated paid campaign period. So we use these storyteller videos throughout the year. Tradie Owen's story is powerful during Men's Health Week and Tradies Month. Farmer Bruce has joined us at agricultural trade shows to talk about his story. Stina is used in various health awareness days like World Refugee Week. And for Holly, who is a trans woman, we share her story on days of significance for the rainbow community. And similarly with Auntie Isabel, who's a respected elder in our region, her story is amplified on First Nation days. And here are 2 quick videos. This is Stina's story. Will it autoplay?
All of a sudden, I didn't feel like I was alone anymore. I'm Stina Constantine and I'm a family and relationship counsellor. I was facing deportation. It was absolutely awful. I felt like someone was telling me to leave home, like leave the people that you know, the people that you've grown to love, the place that you've grown to love, the occupation, like my entire life that I'd built up. I was being asked to just leave it all aside and leave. The first person I told was a dear friend of mine, and my friend was furious that this was happening and wanted to be able to tell the community, and I said no. But once the deportation notice came through and I had no other choice, I had to make it public for people to be able to say, hey, I can support you in this. I don't think that this is right. It got to me. It got to a point where I wasn't sleeping very well. I was extremely stressed. I then reached out to a counsellor. Being able to say, hey, I need help when you're so used to being able to be independent, go and do what you need to do when you need to do, to then being able to say, actually, I can't. It certainly took me a bit before I was willing to take that next step. It gave me a structure, it gave me strategies, helped me realise what was going on for my body and mind. Having people that I didn't know just say, hey, I know what you're going through, I've seen your story, I'm seeing you, if you need anything, I'm here. Little things like that made a huge difference, because all of a sudden, I didn't feel like I was alone anymore.
And then there's just one more.
All of a sudden, I didn't feel like I was alone anymore.
And could you play this one too?
It's pretty common for men to not want to get help, as they want to try and be strong and independent and get through stuff on their own, but you don't feel like you can help yourself. In those cases, I'd normally talk to my close family, and you feel more confident and eager to keep going.
So over the past 2 years, we've really tried to build our strengths as a vibrant regional community, and we continue to amplify the message of this campaign. But we have a challenge. We're a not-for-profit organisation, so budget is always tight, particularly for large-scale media campaigns or advertising campaigns. So we do need to be creative to extend the life of this campaign. We've done this. We have really excellent relationships with mental health organisations across the community, and a lot of them partner with us and use this campaign through their own channels. We link in with local councils. We have about 23 of them in our region, and they put posters regularly on the back of their washroom doors. Our storytellers share their campaign on their own networks, and we do the organic social media posts at times when there's greater risk, such as over exam period for young people, and sometimes over the holiday period as well. And we also make sure we celebrate our wins and coming to conferences like these, so we try and promote the campaign then. And this just slide shows some of the awards that we have won for the campaign, and we're thrilled the campaign has been recognised so widely. Last year we received the Mental Health Service Award for health promotion. We also received the Australian Marketing Institute Excellence Award for Purpose-Led Marketing, and we were a finalist in that same award for Best Not-for-Profit Campaign, and we were a finalist for the 2023 Public Policy Social Impact Award. And I feel like there's one that's the Public Health Association Award as well last year for communication. And yeah, we're really proud of those accolades, but the most important thing to us is the difference this campaign has made to local people living in the Murrumbidgee area. Thanks.
That was fantastic, and congratulations on such a wonderful exemplar of a campaign that has been sustained over a long period of time. Currently at the moment, co-editing a special issue on navigating short-term funding. So it keeps coming up. It's short-term funding and government election cycles. So what you're talking about there just sort of really dials into the reality in local communities and with and just in general, any sort of non-profit or anyone in the social space being able to have build sustainability into their work. So congratulations just on the resilience of holding that space for so many years. That's just really well done. That's awesome stuff. I'd just like to open it up to questions from the floor. Yeah, just.
Sorry to be the persistent question asker. It's just a beautiful campaign of effectiveness, isn't it? It's like Marketing 101, well delivered. It's really rare to see, and it's lovely to see its impact. The thing that really piqued my interest is you talked about the different sorts of media you used, and you talked about it as being, I think you used sort of different classifications. So you had the, physical stuff in cinema and on back of toilet doors and things like that. Did you do any assessment? Did you get any feedback about where people were seeing the advertising? So you had the split of what the spend was, but did you actually in your analysis do a look at where they recalled seeing things?
Not specifically. We did try on a few occasions to use different QR codes in different areas to try and see if we could track things. I really should go back to our to the guys and see if we did have different results. I'm sure we would have looked at it at the time, I just can't recall it off the top of my head, but not really specifically. The only way we could think of doing that was with the different QR codes. People definitely would send us, like people that we knew would go, hey, I've seen this on this bus or in this toilet, and a lot of the storytellers would always come and say, oh, so-and-so's told me that they've seen me in the toilet, and so there was definitely the anecdotal feedback that we got, and I even think that we did a post on our socials saying, where have you seen the campaign, and people would share an image of where they've seen it.
Wonderful. Any other questions from the audience? But I just wanted to say congratulations again on a project like that. So in the work that we've been doing around navigating short-term funding, it generally falls to the same thing, that there's a community champion or champions that come together to hold the space into the future and are often spending their time just chasing different sources of funding, but the passion keeps it going, the passion keeps the pulse there. So look, thanks a lot for that presentation. And we move to our last presentation.